Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Kaffee and Kuchen with Internationals. I am your co-host, Anne Lassé, and today I am sitting here with Pranitha. And I'm just going to pass over to her so she can introduce herself to all of you.
Hello, Anne. Thank you for having me on your podcast. Well, like you said, I'm Pranitha. I come from many places. So I'm from India, UK, and now finally settled in Germany with my partner. And I'm quite excited to be on the podcast today.
We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Anne.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to get to know the guests. I get a lot out of it myself, so thank you for being here. Do you want to tell us a little bit about where you're located and how long you've been living in Germany for?
Okay, so right now I'm in Hamburg with my husband. So I've been in Hamburg for the past 3 years. Like this month completes our 3 years together um, in Hamburg. So I was basically born in India, in Mumbai. Uh, and then from Mumbai, we moved to another southern state called Bangalore. And from there, we moved to UK. So because of my dad's work, we migrated to UK.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I've been in UK for more than half my life. So, and then it was time for getting married. And that's how I met my husband in Hamburg and
Yeah.
moved here. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, I think that you can bring a lot of perspective having traveled to many different places, right?
Yeah.
Um, how do you think that like moving across cultures has shaped the way that you see yourself today?
Right. So I feel like I have a lot of Indian roots with me because I did my schooling in India till my seventh grade, right? So it's pretty much all of my younger years, like growing up, I was completely in India. And then when I moved to UK, I was a teenager. So I had a lot of Indian upbringing and Indian culture, like festivals and dance, especially. So, yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. So I guess you feel like that your roots are in India, but your I guess that experience of traveling and being away has also shaped a little bit who you are.
Yes, absolutely. Like most of my teenage years and my career and everything was in UK. So it was a big change initially because as you are transforming yourself from one country to another, and especially it's not within India itself, you're moving completely to another continent without you don't know what to expect in a new country, the language, the kind of people that you're going to interact with, culturally as well. So it was quite a lot as a kid, I would say.
Yeah, I feel like moving. I mean, I have a kid. He's seven, now nearly seven, not quite seven. And that definitely plays on my mind as a mum, like the what it would be like for him to if we decide to move back to. I'm from New Zealand, so if we ever
Oh, right.
decide to
Okay.
move back there, what that experience would be like for him. And I think particularly as a teenager, right? You've already built your friend circle and you've got a
Exactly.
strong connection to the place that you've come from. And I think it could be a hard time to move. Was it
Yeah,
challenging?
absolutely. Because, like, all my dad's side of the family was in India, my mom's side of the family was in India. And then we always have these regular get togethers. Like, if there's an event or, happening at home, you have the whole family coming over. And then now you've moved to another continent. You don't know that whether the same you're going to have the same environment in case of an event, right? Like you are trying to build your life there in a new place, and you are completely unaware that, oh, suddenly all these members are not going to be there. It's just going to be you, your mom, dad, and your brother. you know, it was like a sudden realization that, oh, what am I missing here, right? because it's not easy to travel all the way to UK from India, and it's really expensive, the flight tickets as well, right? And Indians have so many cultures and so many festivals. Like literally every other month, we have a festival or celebration happening. Yeah, it was a bit hard, I would say initially, but then you start growing and getting used to the emptiness for a while, and then you create your own circle of friends, you find new family, but obviously it won't be the same as what you are used to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like this gap that you then have to fill, right? And it's never going to be filled in exactly the same way that you knew it, but you create a new way of being and maybe a bit of a new identity.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when it comes to the question of identity as well, right? Like whenever someone asks me, where are you from? I'm like, okay, am I Indian? Am I British? It always makes me pause for a while because
Mm,
culturally I have a lot of Indian roots in me, but at the same time I have a lot of British upbringing as well,
yeah,
right? So yeah,
yeah,
but when I say British upbringing, it's more like my friends and my surroundings are all like when I was in school, it was all like British pupils and learning new ways to navigate like how I fit in as well, right? So
yeah, yeah, definitely. That makes sense. Do you have an answer to that question now when people ask you in
I
terms of your
still
identity?
don't,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I always start off with, okay, I'm from many different places. And actually, one of someone I met recently was like, oh, the girl from all around the world. I was like, yeah, exactly, from all around the world, But most of the time I say I'm from India and England. I don't negate either of the countries because, I still feel a lot Indian than British sometimes, when it comes to festivals or like friendships or things like that. So,
Mm, yeah. I think that makes sense that it's all a part of you. And so that's the
Yeah.
answer, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Did the experience of moving when you were so young also, like you talked about growth, I think you used the word growth, and then you have to create kind of that new, your new environment. Did that also give you some skills in life, do you think, this process of having to adapt as at such a young age?
Absolutely. Like the education system in like UK is completely different to what you see in India because you are learning to use your brains more than being a parrot, basically, right? A lot of times in Indian education, what it is, right, it is like you have the syllabus and then you have to learn all these things just for the exam, whereas when you come to when that's the difference I found, right? So the difference in the school that I was in, it was more practical based. You have teamwork, you have group assignments, and then you have things that you obviously learn from other students as well. There's a lot of interaction and real life examples, right? So it felt like the teaching system was a big change, but it was also very good learning.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I often find like the things that you're challenged by the most often give you the biggest opportunity to grow.
Absolutely. I mean, as a kid as well, right? You are trying to make new friends. At the same time, you are also trying to cope up with your studies and this judgment, like this fear of judgment, like, oh, what are people going to think of me? I have this Indian accent, are people going to accept me the way I am? And then also there was, as as when I was in school, the kids are kids. You'll have a lot of bullying at some stage as well, right? And that is something you have to overcome by yourself. Like, even if you try and explain it to the parents, they might not get it to the to the level that you want them to understand, right? Like, oh, this is what I'm going through. Or sometimes you feel like, oh, should I really tell it? Will it really matter, you know?
Well, that's so real. I feel like, I mean, your parents didn't have the same experience as you, right? When they moved, because
Absolutely.
they're in a different life phase. And
Yeah,
so they would have not experienced what you experienced. And so may not really fully, the only person that can understand your experience is you, or maybe someone else
exactly.
that's gone through a very similar experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
So it was hard, but then after a while you just start getting used to it, and then you start learning and navigating your way around it as well. And then
yeah.
eventually you make some friends who accept you the way you are,
Mm,
and that is what the light at the end of the tunnel is, right? Like, if you don't have like one or two friends who are on the same line as you, like, what is even the point?
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Finding your inner resources and then finding your way and then seeking out those people that make you feel like you can be yourself.
Yeah, yeah, because you're battling a lot of things like loneliness, a fear of judgment, and acceptance, friendships, and the list keeps going on. And yeah, I would say a lot of times, when such a big decision of moving is really dependent on like the sole breadwinner of the family, right? Most of the time, and you just go ahead like a backseat driver, and you just try to figure and navigate your way through. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I thought we could just talk about this notion of home a little bit because you've had several homes now.
Yeah.
And I wondered, like, is there a special moment or a place that comes to mind when you think of home? And has it changed over time for you?
Yeah. So home is a very, I feel it keeps changing, right? Like, when you are with your family is when you think home is. Initially, you would feel, oh, India is home because that's where you started growing up and all this. You have your relatives and whatnot. And then when I made the big move to UK with my parents is when I was like, okay, this is my new home. I need to accept it. You have to keep adapting, right? Like, whenever you move from place to place. And then when I got married and moved to Hamburg, now, okay, now this is my new home, right? Like, I live with my husband, and I feel home is very personal. I feel it's a safe space. You can be yourself, basically. And I think that is what a home means to me, like feeling safe in your space, being yourself, and really trying to just be still and just accept, you know?
I love that definition. I've been thinking about this lately as well. Like, what does home mean? And the more I
Yeah.
think about it, the more I think is like, if you can really feel home within yourself and kind of know who you are as a person, and
Yeah.
then be able to show up in the world or in the people around you as that person, then you get that sense of belonging. So
Yeah.
I love that answer.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Very cool. And then if you think about that move then from the UK to Germany, what was that like? Because you're a different age, obviously. Like, when you moved to the UK, it was when
Yeah.
you were a lot younger, and now you're an adult and you're moving to a place, whole nother language, whole nother culture.
Oh
What was
yeah, it
that like?
was. When I thought about the move itself, I was like, okay, we're moving to another place. We're used to this, right? So, because when we moved to UK, we moved five different places within UK itself. So,
Wow. Yeah.
moving is not a big thing for me anymore because I can just move and adapt. But when it came culturally, there was a lot of learning there, because obviously learning German is a big it's a big thing to be able to fit in Germany, right? Trying to get a job,
Mm,
especially as a digital marketing and communications field, right? It's quite challenging, I would say, because there is this requirement that you have to learn up to a B1. Okay, I've done B1, but now we need C1. Okay, just for me to keep going on and on. Okay, I
yeah.
will do it.
I feel like the language is a lifelong commitment that you can
Yeah,
always learn.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love the process of learning the German language. It was really interesting, and because in India as well, right? Like I know many languages, Indian languages. So I know Hindi, Tamil. There is a bit of Malayalam, and these are all like South Indian Malayalam and Kannada. So
Yeah.
learning a new language was pretty fun. And even in school, I learned Spanish and French. So I was like, okay, let's take German as a challenge and learn it. But
Wow.
when you're learning a language as an adult, right, you're not grasping it as fast as you would have grasped it when you were a kid.
True. I watched my son just soaking up the language like a sponge, and like he had an accent when we came here. Now
Yeah.
he's like, can't tell that he's
Is
lived
he from
anywhere
New Zealand
else.
or
He's from
German?
New Zealand. Yeah. And then, yeah, as an adult, trying to do it, it's just not comparable.
It's, yeah, absolutely. Because your patience level is like low, right? Because you're
Mm,
trying to get a job, you're trying to uh, even like locally you want to learn German, even for like regular things, like you're going to buy bread or order something at the restaurant, right?
yeah.
You initially start off with bitte, mit Karte bitte, danke, guten Morgen. So these are your
Yes.
four words that you carry around and
Yes.
hope that the other person receiving this understands you completely in one sentence or more.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. Yes, I love it. Okay. And then moving here, you're an adult, and so then building that friend circle, right? Like I can imagine there's a difference between moving when you're young and you've got school and you can kind of build friends through school, even though that might be challenging at the beginning. Here, as an adult, maybe you've got work, maybe not, I don't know, but it's harder. And so I'd be interested to know if you've got any reflections on that process for you, and maybe you can talk a little bit about dance as well, and your passion for dance and what role that
Yeah,
played.
yeah, absolutely. So I think I was lucky, like, because my husband's been here for the past almost 12, 13 years, right? So he's already made a group of friends over here. So getting friends in that aspect was pretty simple because now his friends are my friends. So I didn't feel the gap of loneliness of making new friends. But at the same time, you're like, okay, these are my husband's friends. I think it's time that I also make my own set of friends, right? So that is when it really got to me like, okay, now the German classes are there and making like a couple of friends over there, which was pretty good because you're learning with them and then you're looking forward to meeting them in your next classes. And these are your friends that you make from your German school. And also, when I continued learning German, that's when I was like, okay, I'm looking for jobs, I'm learning German. Now, what next? These are the two things that's been happening. So I was like, what next? Okay. Now, dance has always been like since childhood, right? So I've been learning dance since I was 5 years old, basically.
Wow.
So, so that was something I was like, okay, now we have kind of navigated a bit. Let's get back into dancing. So that's when I it sparked me like, okay, let me try and do a free class here in Hamburg. Let's see how many people turn up, and that's when quite a few good numbers turned up to my first session, and I was like, oh wow, so many people want to learn Bollywood dancing over here, so why not give this a go, right? Obviously right now I'm still unemployed and still looking for jobs, which is another story. So I was like, okay, at least something is keeping me going. The dance scene is what I wanted to tap into, and that's how I think I started to grow a little bit of a dance community. And through that, I also made a couple of friends who I've been constantly like keeping in touch with, or, meeting up and things like that. So that has been pretty good in that sense.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's brave as well. Like, I think it's not necessarily easy to, I don't know, find a venue and to talk about this thing that you're trying to create and to get people there. So that's amazing. How did you do that process?
So, because so before leaving UK, right, I was kind of affected by COVID as well, job wise. So that's when I got into digital marketing and communications. So my career path is completely, I've had too many careers in life. So initially I started off studying finance and accounting. And then I dabbled in a bit of retail during my university, and then I got into finance. And then somewhere in between, I wanted to be a content creator. I don't know why. So I just shelved that. And then 2 3 years into finance, I was like, okay, this is not my career path. So I'm more of a hands-on person, and I get bored kind of easily. So I need something new and exciting for me to like keep going, right? So I was like, okay, let's try getting into like events or things like that. So I got into event management. I did a course for 6 months, and then I got into a company as well that suited my liking, and it was right near my house. And then unfortunately, COVID hit within 3 months, and I was like, okay,
Uh,
how long is this gonna happen, right?
oh no,
So, and
that's
then
bad timing.
completely bad timing. Okay, then I was like, for a couple of months, I was like, okay, what do I do with my life? You come to this if you feel like you're coming to a cliff at this edge, like what do you do? You're just gonna tip over, or you're gonna push back and try once again at something else. And then that's when I came across digital marketing and communications, and I've been with it for the past 3 years. And in that company that I was in, I used to help a lot of small businesses, set up their company, and help them with their social media and whatnot. And that's when I was like, okay, I've moved to a new country now. I don't have the same job that I used to do, but at least I can put it into some sort of use that could benefit me potentially in the future. And that's when the idea sparked, like, okay, I can set up my dance company, I can make my own logo, I can create my own promotions and things like that. So that's how this whole craze started.
I love it. That's so good. It's very resourceful.
It feels like a butterfly effect, right? Like one thing leads to another, a butterfly or a domino effect, like one thing leads to another. Yeah. And once you are in that zone of, yeah, I want to go for it, let me just go do it. And and I had the time to do it, so yeah.
Yeah, I feel that's so interesting. I feel like many things were born out of the time of COVID, right? And
Yeah,
also transition is also like an amazing time for things to be born because
absolutely.
everything is changed, and so
Yeah.
you do have to get resourceful and ideas come. So I love that. Yeah, very
Yeah.
cool. So while we're on the topic of your dancing, do you want to share with the audience in case anybody is like, oh, I want to know more and I want to find out if I can come along to these dancing
Yeah,
events
sure.
that you're running?
Sure. So I run dance classes every alternative Fridays near Königstrasse area, and I dabble in Bollywood dancing and semi-classical dancing. So if anyone's interested in learning some Bollywood moves or some semi-classical moves, and it's predominantly just Bollywood songs, and sometimes I tap into Tamil Kollywood style dancing as well. So if anyone's interested, please get in touch when on prarang.dance. That's my Instagram handle. Yeah.
Okay. I'll also link that when we share the podcast
Yeah.
episode so people can find you.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Okay. And now changing topics a little bit, we talked before we jumped on here about like this idea of safety. You shared with me of this importance of safety, and I'm thinking about that in the context of like you've moved around a lot, right? And I think humans are designed to not want change. Like change can feel unsafe. And so I'm curious about this theme and what it means to you, and maybe you interpret it in a completely different way.
Mm,
But yeah, I think particularly living away from your home and away from your comfort and everything you know, and moving to a new place, that sense of like, am I safe here? Like, how do I create that sense of
mm,
safety for myself when maybe my favorite people aren't around me? Um,
mm.
yeah, tell me, what are your thoughts on the theme?
I think safety is a very it's very personal as well. Like it depends on every individual's journey. So for me, why I said safety was really important for me is because I've had experiences that I didn't think that would happen again here in Hamburg after so many years. Because when I was a kid in school, right, I faced a lot of bullying and racial profiling and things like that. As a kid, you initially feel the hurt for a longer period of time, right? Because then you start getting scared of what people will think constantly, and then after that phase, I was like, okay, now I'm not gonna face any more safety issue because I've grown out of it. I've become a bit confident, and then many years pass, and then you come to a new country like Germany, and then you're like, and then there was this incident on the bus. Actually, there was me and my two other friends were sitting on the bus, and this lady just yanked my hair out, and then she was saying, "Oh, you Indians, get out of here," and things like that. So
Wow, that's awful.
it was. I didn't know what to make out of that situation. I was a bit taken back. I was like, okay, I thought safety meant being safe in all the places. I didn't know this would ever happen to me again after getting over it mentally as well. Suddenly you go back into that zone like, okay, do I trust people around me? Do I have to step out of the house and feel safe again? Am I going to feel safe again? Obviously, I reported that incident to the police officer. And that was good, and that's the action I took from my side. So I was more stronger this time. I came back stronger. I was like, okay, I'm not going to let this affect me, because if I do, I'm not going to be able to lead a normal life, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to get over this, do the right thing, report it, and then go on with my life, obviously. If it was me as a kid, I would have just been scared to even step out of the house. I would have just been at home, right? So I feel, yeah, that incident kind of took me back. For a brief moment, I was like, "Oh, did I make the right decision coming here to Hamburg? I don't know if I want to stay here." And then there was this week of bad things happening, and then the next week, there was a limelight there, right? Because I had lost my wallet as well. And then I found it again through the Lost and Found Bureau. I was like, okay, this country did feel like I don't want to be here, but then at the same time it's also giving, so why not come back to it again, feel better.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. And thank you so much for sharing. I think it's so important. Like, I'm just reflecting on the kind of like my perspective that I bring into this conversation of like how I was thinking about safety.
Yeah,
And it kind of highlights, like,
yeah,
I mean, when I open my mouth, people know that I'm not from here, right? When I
yeah,
speak German, like I have the accent, but I look like everybody
mm,
else. And so there's that sense of privilege that I can have. Like if I want to hide, I can hide. I just keep my mouth shut.
yeah,
And so I think it's so important to share these stories and to make people aware of the everyday experience, right? Like,
yeah.
yeah, and what it
You
might be
never know
like to
what's gonna
leave the
happen
home.
next
Mm,
minute. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Yeah, so thank you for sharing. And I don't know, what would you like? Is there anything that you would like to share in terms of how people can help you? I don't know. I'm thinking out loud and brainstorming a little bit. Like, we're a community here, right? Our listeners, and I also want it to be like a platform where we can support each other. And so maybe it is just the sharing of that story, right? And then that awareness piece that is so important. But is there anything else that you feel like is important for people to be aware of in terms of that experience for you?
Yeah, I think obviously this is one experience that's negative, right? I think a lot of times mentally you feel, oh, this experience just defines who I am, but in the end of the day it's not you as an individual, it's the person who actually, the perpetrator actually committed that thing. We don't know what kind of mental state they were in, what experience they've had. They're just projecting their anger, their pent up anger, or I don't know what kind of mental situation that person was in. But obviously have this experience as a lesson or some sort of a reminder that, you know, it's not what it defines you. You are more than what this person made you feel. Because that feeling can linger around for quite a long time if you don't distract yourself fast enough. And then, yeah, yeah, initially you feel, okay, do I want to travel by bus anymore? Every time I travel by bus, I'm like, oh, is someone going to do anything? So that initial fear will be there, but it will get better. And yeah, don't let it define you, I would say. That's very important. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I think to live like a life in fear, right, is feels so small. And I guess the world is what it is.
it is. Yeah,
And to be able to not let it make you feel small, right? You,
yeah,
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 belong here, right? And this is your home right now, and to let
yeah.
yourself feel that.
Yeah, you have a bigger purpose at the end of the day, right? Uh, Someone who's not going to be in your life at all. It's just they're just there for 1 minute of your life and made you feel like crap the whole day. Okay, but then there's a new day. There are new chances. There is a new experience ahead of your life. Don't let this affect you that much. Obviously, don't forget it. It's something you can share with other people, and it'll only get better if you talk about it. Don't bottle it up, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of strength in sharing,
Yeah.
and then yeah, having people that walk beside you in that experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. What else? I'm looking at dance. Is there, I guess, maybe we've talked about the dance in terms of what it's kind of done for you in terms of building community. But I'm also wondering, like, I was reflecting on it in the context of what it might have brought you in terms of that sense of like culture coming with you and like this maybe your identity and building that identity for yourself being a big part of dance for you. Is that true? Like, is there an aspect of like of dance kind of grounding you in this change that's been in your life?
Yeah, dance has been a secret a hero, I would say. Like my it's been a constant as well. Um, you know, well, like I said, I started dancing when I was age of 5, and then I got into like some classical training, which is called Bharatanatyam, and I did that for a couple of years in India, and then the transition obviously got a pause for me. In between, I wasn't dancing as much as I would have liked to, because yeah, like I said, like the transition, and then I started losing a bit of interest in the classical dancing because I started exploring other forms of dancing as well. So I was like, okay, let's try other things, and then maybe I can make something out of it. And then after my teenage years of dancing, I got into university, and then that's when I realized, okay, I want to do more with the dancing because Bollywood is something I've been uh, watching since a kid, and it's always been a fun space for me. And the songs in Bollywood is very vibrant and fun, you know and then I decided to be one of the choreographers in my university. So that's when I started off teaching more officially and professionally, right? Like, and it's in colleges where you start exploring your actual interests, I would say. And that's something that really is a space where it defines you the most. And I feel I had the most fun in university when I was dancing. And then after that, I continued teaching dance, on the side background, even if I was working or even on a bad day. Dance is what I look back to. It instantly makes me feel better and myself.
Mm,
And it's a space for me to be creative and just be myself. To be honest, so
yeah.
it's yeah, it's always grounded me in that way. And then after coming here to Hamburg as well, I was like, okay, dance is something I cannot forget about. It's always been there, so let's take a step in this direction as well.
Yeah. I love that. And I think it's so important to be able to express yourself, right? Express who you
Yeah.
are, and have that thing that is like your anchor to kind of help you to feel that sense of grounding or sense of
Yeah,
belonging to
it's a lot
something.
of like discipline. It teaches you many things. If you're working in a group, it teaches you teamwork, it teaches you discipline, it teaches you to show up for yourself. It tells you, you don't have to sideline me or forget about me. I'm always there. You can come back to me on a sad day, on a happy day. And yeah, that's what I have seen dance as for myself.
Mm,
And the really great part is there is another dance community here in Hamburg who I have had the privilege to like take part with and work with. So it has been a really cool journey for me.
yeah. Oh, I love it. I want to come and see you dance now. I'm
Yes,
inspired.
absolutely. Something exciting is cooking, but that will I will tell you more about it for next year.
Please do. Please
Yeah,
do. I would love that.
yeah.
Okay. I guess starting to get to the end of our time, and so I'm just wondering, like, if there's something you want to leave the audience with, like or even like it could be put in the way of like, what's a message to your younger self? So thinking of, people that have maybe just arrived or very early on in their journey, like, what would you say?
To my younger self, what I would say is try and not be too scared to try new things. Just go for it. Like we all know, time is very limited. You know, uh, it's always the right time to start. Don't think it's not the right time to start, no matter where you are in life. Just go for it if your heart says. Try new things. Even if you fail, it's okay. Get back up.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's strong, and it's a powerful message, and something that's so necessary, right? When we're
Yeah.
living abroad and away from everything we know, if we just kind of keep ourselves in our comfort zone, then we're
Yeah, come
not.
out of your comfort
Mm,
zone, make new friends. There are always people out there who are looking for similar interests. Don't block yourself in a box. Try out new things, make new friends, go out there, explore, try new restaurants, cuisines, or just to try and be happy with yourself first, and then only then you can make other people happy as well.
yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So important. Amazing.
Yeah.
Pranitha, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank
I
you.
loved having a conversation with you. It was so much fun, and you've got
Thank
lots of
you.
wisdom to share. So thanks. I'm sure everyone will love the conversation.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you so much for having me today.